Hello and welcome to Crimewatch Live, as always. Of course, tonight, the Ipswich killings are on everyone's minds, but the public response has already been overwhelming. Events are moving so fast that now is not the time for a Crimewatch appeal.
But if and when an appeal is needed, you can be sure we'll be making it. Meanwhile, we start with another murder that caused a national outcry.
Yeah, if you remember, 3 months ago, the headlines were full of the killing of a 15-year-old kid, Jesse James. These life-sized cardboard cutouts have been appearing around Manchester.
And tonight we can show you for the first time new CCTV footage of what looks like Jesse's killers leaving the scene. Their getaway vehicles, bicycles.
Jess? Is that you? How was school today?
I got an A for that picture, you know.
You got an A? Oh, Jay, I'm so proud of you. Well done, son. We should frame it up. Listen, I done some curry goat and rice for dinner
I'm not
today.
hungry.
What do you mean you're not hungry? You just come home from school.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not hungry.
There's some stew peas and rice. Leave if you want the stew peas
I'll
and
have
rice
it when I
instead.
come back from the gym.
He was very health conscious and people admire him as a young lad who, you know, the way he carried himself, the way he conducted himself outside, people were amazed.
Here you are. That should fill you up if nothing else.
Any ginger beer?
Excuse me.
Please.
Thank you. And try not to drink it down here so much.
Mum, there's a party going on tonight and all my boys are going to be there. Can I go?
No.
But it's not a school night.
You've only just come home from the gym. You must be tired.
I said, no, Jesse, don't go tonight. I said, he said, all the parents have given their approval. So it looks as though I'm the one who doesn't want him to have fun. So I stopped talking.
They all go for the older guys, innit? Hey, I can't wait till I'm 20, man, if you know what I'm saying, right? Seriously.
Jesse and his mates were good lads and just out on a Friday night for a good time. There's nothing to suggest any of them were involved in any gang activity at all. It just appears that Jesse was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Jesse and his mates leave the park and come down here, Cadogan Street, to visit one of the mates, but he's not in. But is there anybody else around here? Who's this chap in the white trousers who they nearly collide with? He may be an important witness.
Come on, lads, where are you going?
How you doing, right? Let's go in here.
Yeah. Can you move up? You're on the age.
I've got to give her a message.
No, I'm going to have to call the police if you don't. Come on, lads.
About the same time that Jesse and his mates were trying to get into the social club, two lads on bikes come from Broadfield Road into the park. Half an hour later, Jesse is shot dead. We believe this is footage of the killers. Who are these two guys?
Music loud and I'm tipping slow. Twin steady twisting like hit this dough. Right behind and it's in his throat. Windows down, gotta stop pollution. City change like who's that producing?
You're not gonna get it for them.
Oh, you wish, man. Hey, I know she's fit. We're just going out with the coat.
Jesse was riding up this path here and lagging behind. He's heard gunshots and bolted over this grassed area, unknowingly into the line of fire. Numerous shots were fired and 3 have hit him. If these gunmen thought they were tough, they were wrong. All they've succeeded in doing is hitting an innocent young boy in the back as he tried to pedal away. Moments later, the two gunmen left the park and came back down Cadogan Street. They turned right here at Normanby Street and rode up towards Great Western Street. Was anybody around who might have seen them at that time? More importantly, I'm convinced that their family or friends either saw them leave, saw them when they come back, or even better, overheard them discussing exactly what they'd done.
How many shots was that?
There was loads.
Have you seen Jesse?
Nah.
Come on, let's go and find him. Okay, let's get him right, yeah? Come on. Let's go. Come on, Jesse. Is that Jesse? Jesse! Jesse, get up, man, let's go.
He ain't moving.
I need a breathe.
So what's happened?
He's been shot. He's dead, man. He's dead on the floor out there.
Listen to me. An ambulance on the way.
Hurry up, man.
I cannot think about Christmas right now. If I could have a Christmas present, it would be to have Jesse back again. This house will be dull, empty without Jesse. Jesse was our Christmas.
Who could shoot a child? It's just extraordinary. But that CCTV you've got, Tim, it's not been shown before. To the untutored eye, that may look fairly grainy, but that's a real breakthrough, and you've got experts working on that now.
Nick, it's a major breakthrough, the CCTV. We've got the country's finest experts working hard to enhance those images.
And you're going to get quite a lot of detail, not least the exact proportions of the people on the bikes, maybe greater detail of the bikes themselves and stuff like that.
Yes, maybe even facial details of particularly the one in front on the first bike.
But as you said, you're pretty sure family and friends in Moss Side know who did this.
Yes, and probably somebody shielded them. You know, somebody must have overheard them discussing what they were doing when they came back, getting rid of clothing, even disposing of the gun.
Killing a kid, I mean, even people who like sort of to be tough and like their kids to be tough, they aren't going to go for that. Now, they are going to be frightened, though, of coming forward because they won't want their name to come out. You've made it clear in Moss Side, in repeated appeals, there is real anonymity. How far does that extend, Tony?
Nick, we've got tried and tested methods of protecting people, right up to the court process, right up to the time when they actually give evidence. They can be reassured and guaranteed it's 100% safe to give information to us.
Right through the trial process?
Yes, absolutely.
You know rather more about this than you're letting on, don't you? I mean, you've got a fairly good idea who's behind this.
We've been given a name consistently through this inquiry, but there are others involved too. And what we really need is some material information, not just rumour and gossip on the street.
OK, well, if you can help us in any way, if there's anything you know, particularly if there's anything you know directly, you can call us. You know that you can remain anonymous. It's a free phone number, 0500 600 600. Details of this case and indeed others tonight are on our website, bbc.co.uk/Crimewatch.
Later on Crimewatch, the couple on the bus look wrapped up in each other. They kiss affectionately, but only minutes later, the same man, this is him, almost kicked another man to death in the street. We'll see more of him shortly.
And call Crime Stoppers.
Good afternoon, Crime Stoppers.
Hello, Crime Stoppers.
So for some people, they take weeks, sometimes months, even longer, to get the confidence, to get the courage to actually ring us. We are very, very aware that if they do lose their nerve through something which we get wrong, then we've lost it.
But who exactly are Crime Stoppers? How does it work? Find out as we go behind the scenes later. But first, Detective Constable Ralph Wilding has a bunch of villains caught on camera.
And the next job is catching them for real, and that is where you come in. Two big blokes against one little lady and a newsagent in Stretford, Manchester. She's clearly distressed and pleads with the robbers. The answer is a punch in the face. As the shopkeepers slumped on the floor, they make off with a till and a crate of fags. It's this man we're after. Cropped ginger hair, glasses, check shirt. Who is he? This bogus caller's a real coward. This is the second time he's robbed two elderly sisters in Bath. He grabs a purse on his way out. Let's put him back in the frame. Don't let him in. Let us have his name. This bloke looks the part, but he's just another con man in a suit. He's a jewellery thief wanted by 4 forces. He pops up in Chester, York and Wrexham with the same old line. He wants to buy a present for his girlfriend. This time he hangs about long enough for us to have a good look. He's 6 foot, late 20s and likes a dark suit. But, bad taste alert. Check out those tan shoes. He paces nervously before the rings are brought out. Then he makes a lunge and bolts for the door. £70,000 worth of rings, bracelets and earrings, and that girlfriend's still not happy. What's Tallboy's name? Group of lads, Balham Station, bottles of booze in hand. With the truly irritating timing of the late night drunk, one waits long enough for a train to lock up, then tries to board, feet first. He's prepared to hang on for dear life, but the train driver thinks better of it. The drunk, though, thinks nothing of the guard who helps him to his feet. He bottles him. Maybe one of his mates has the bottle to give us his name before they get lifted. This hoodie may not look like part of an international crime ring, but he could be in a gang stealing cars for export to Africa. They've spotted this Range Rover in an industrial estate in Park Royal and lie in wait for the owner. As he walks out, 2 of them leap out of the shadows, break his jaw and nick the keys. The third man starts the engine, but these 2 can't resist putting the boot in. They said, "Don't mess with a Harrow Road boys." The Range Rover was found in a container in Folkestone, bound for West Africa. Is this lad really a Harrow Road boy? Whoever he is, he wants locking up. Name, please. Right, a quick update on the jewellery thief with the tan shoes. You know, the bloke the fashion police are also after. He's also walked out with 40 grand's worth from a shop in Carlisle. So if you know him or any of the others, give us a call. 0500 600 600. Or you can text us, of course, on 83199. Just type CW and then your message. Or if you'd like to see any of the CCTV again, you can also do that on our website.
A couple of Crime Watches ago, we gave a special hotline number for those living in fear from so-called honour crimes, where their families felt that they hadn't lived up to their family or cultural traditions. We got close on to 500 calls. The good news is, as a direct result, quite a few vulnerable people, some men as well as several women, have been moved to a place of safety.
Well, let's see if we can get some more potential victims out of danger. And again, that danger is in the home. With 4 days to Christmas, the fact is domestic violence peaks at this time of the year. We've a dedicated free phone number here to ring. It's 0800 092 2006. We'll tell you about other helplines shortly. And we've been out with a special police unit who prove that gone are the days when a copper might say, just a domestic.
Indeed, nothing more vividly shows the need for an aggressive policy towards aggressive men than the really shocking scene that starts our film.
Domestic violence usually happens behind closed doors. This is a rare street-level glimpse of one man's brutal cowardice. But the law is now on to men who beat women.
If you commit offences of domestic violence, we will track you down and hold you accountable for what you've done.
My wedding day was the day that it started. It just all went wrong from there, really. He was controlling, he was aggressive, he was nasty. You didn't know how to handle him. You ended up day to day surviving.
Mel lived in constant fear.
if there was no milk in the fridge, then he would kick off. Basically, he would start punching kitchen doors and punching the fridge. He would make sure he got fed first. My daughter would often be sent up to bed without any tea. So it ended up as being a game. Me and her would sit under the bed and hide and eat so I could take some food up to her.
5 years of sustained violence ended in the most terrifying attack of all.
He punched me. I ended up on the floor. I came around to my daughter saying, "He's broke your nose, Mummy, he's broke your nose." I had marks on my arms. I had a footprint in my back which was a bruise. Obviously I'd got black eyes and all my nose was swollen. So he'd done a good job.
Mel's partner was arrested and convicted of assault. They're now divorced.
This morning, 500 officers across the capital will be visiting addresses of domestic violence offenders.
I'm arresting you on suspicion of harassment. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm the defence if you don't mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. My life as a child was confusing. It was horrible because of the violence that went on between my dad towards my mum and the verbal abuse that he used to hurl at her.
Listen to me, you're staying with me, all right? No! Just get up! Stop it! Get up! Get up! Get up! No!
My dad was probably capable of killing her, and I think that thought must have scared the hell out of her.
Stop it! No!
One night, he tried to strangle her mother.
Imagine what it's like if someone you love is on the other side of the door and you can just hear them being hurt. And, you know, it's like you feel like a mouse because you're that small compared to, like, the giant that my dad was at the time.
In London alone, in the last 12 months, we've had over 100,000 reports of domestic violence. That's only like a small snapshot of what's going on across the country.
Hello, it's the police. Can you open the door, please?
Colleen Chudley's body was discovered at her home in Silverton. She'd been stabbed with 3 knives up to 40 times in the chest.
Colleen Chudley was 27 years old. As her children cowered upstairs, her ex-partner turned up and broke down her front door. She dialed 999.
Hello, police emergency. Please don't go. Hello, police. Hello, police. Hello, operator. Are you hear the sounds of disturbance in the background?
Yes, I did. The lady came on the phone and said someone was trying to get into a house. She has hung up now.
After the attack, he covered Colleen's body with a rug, drank her beer, and phoned the police.
Hello, police emergency.
I've just murdered my ex-girlfriend.
Sorry?
I've just murdered my ex-girlfriend.
You've just murdered your ex-girlfriend? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Paul Delaney was convicted of Colleen's murder. He got life and is currently serving a minimum of 14 years in prison.
Can you open the door, please? It's the police.
So you're under arrest for breaching the county court order. It's my intention to bring you back to the station, get you in front of the court as soon as possible.
Listen, I've not got no criminal record.
Nose is in for the night now.
More than 300 arrests of violent men in one day across London certainly sends a signal. And the reason we should all care about this is men who commit domestic violence are more likely to carry on doing this kind of thing.
I mean, it's long been known that guys who do this go on doing it, but what's now known, because there's new research, is that they involve themselves in other violence as well. In other words, not domestic violence, they're just generally violent people. They need to be found, they need to be stopped.
Well, please call our special free phone number here, 0800 092 2006, for tonight only. Then Women's Aid and Refuge have a joint helpline, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That number's free and it's 0808 2000 247. And you'll find links to those organisations on our website. Now, Rav has the faces of 4 men wanted in connection with domestic violence offences.
Number 1 here is Brian Tudor, wanted for terrorising his former partner in Liverpool. She'd been repeatedly beaten and raped. Tudor's 5'10", but 17 stone. Uses other aliases, including Derek Aspinall, Michael Becks or Michael Beckham. Number 2, this guy, have a good look. It's Julio Martins Paes. He's Portuguese, and he's wanted in connection with the attempted murder of his ex-wife. It's claimed he stabbed her in the chest and thigh after forcing his way into her car as she drove along the A13 in East London. He's also known as Neon Paes and Julio Jr. and works as an interpreter. Number 3, it's Lee David Prothero, wanted for ABH against his ex-girlfriend. She'd been punched and kicked and later pursued with threatening phone calls. Prothero's 33, originally from South Wales, but now thought to be moving around doing cash-in-hand work. He's also known to use aliases. And here, number 4, Grant Camilleri. He's attacked his ex-wife, punched her in the face and threatened to kill her. He's failed to appear at court and was convicted of ABH in his absence. He's now wanted for sentencing. He could be in the Coventry area. So if you know where Grant or any of the others are, please give us a call here in the studio, 0500 600 600. Of course, you can text us on 83199. Just type CW and then your message.
And here's another man we'd like to call on. His name's Dingane Mrotshwana. Take a good look at him and why we need to find him before he does to other women what he did to this one.
I'm approaching one of their nests where there are chicks, but they are parrots. Very careful.
Kandisa came to England a few years ago as an asylum seeker from Zimbabwe. The desperate situation there made her fear for her life. She came to Bolton where she settled and she took work as a carer where she looked after the elderly.
Every day I lived in fear of my life. Zimbabwe became an unbearable place for me to live. Leaving my kids with my mom was the most difficult thing I did in my life. But I didn't have a choice other than to come here for my safety.
Ah, you're back.
So where is he?
Who?
The person that you've been sleeping with.
Don't give me that again.
Why are you downstairs?
I fell asleep when I came back from work, so I was tired.
You are lying to me. There's been a man in this house.
There hasn't
There's
been
been
anybody
a man
inside
in
the
this
house.
house. I don't know why you think you can lie to me. You think I'm bloody
I've
stupid.
never ever given you a reason to doubt
So
me.
why are you trying to humiliate me? Why?
He was really jealous and he didn't trust me. I don't know why he didn't trust me, but he had something just at the back of his head that I was doing something behind him, which was not true.
I'm making tea. Do you want some?
I'm going to bed.
I met Danny at a party in Leeds. He was a handsome guy when I met him, with an innocent face. And since he's also from Zimbabwe, we had some things in common. He was really nice, to be honest. Yeah, at that time.
We need to talk.
Come to bed.
I don't think that's a good idea.
So you don't want to sleep with me?
I need to talk to you.
You don't want to sleep with me because there's somebody else.
I've had enough of this.
Come back here! Where do you think you're going?
Just get lost.
Come back here!
Just get your stuff and go.
Yeah, I will go.
And I want my keys back.
And I want my money back.
I don't have it here.
I want my money back now.
The money you wanted is the money we saved together. But I didn't have the money at that time because we've used it for food and for rent. I told him that I'll give him the money back when I get the money.
Where do you think you're going?
He has beat me before, so I knew he was going to do the same.
Police! Police!
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
You bitch.
Hello? Hello? Sir, I'm really not happy with this one. I think we should get uniform to check it out.
I covered my face and he continued to punch me and to kick me. And I just begged him to stop hitting me.
You think you can play with me, eh? You think you can play with me? Quiet! Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth!
Help me!
Okay, I'm here. There's a police officer.
We immediately launched a search for him. Within minutes, officers were combing the station. If he was getting a train, we were going to stop him. Sadly, he managed to get away. However, I did get a mobile phone number for him and I rang him up a couple of days later. He said to me, "You're not putting me in prison."
This attack has left me physically scarred and emotionally scarred. I can't see from my left eye, and my right eye is having double vision, and I've had 3 major operations.
Later that night, the victim was discharged from hospital. Indiza was blinded in one eye and scarred for life. Now, unless somebody rings in and tells me where Dingani is, there is a real danger that he might do this again, or even worse, to another woman.
"21 months after the attack, she's still going back to hospital for more operations. It's a hideous attack. This is who we're after. Dingani, sometimes known as Danny or Denny Malochwa. And this is Liz Hopkinson. Why do women go for him?
Well, apparently he's a bit of a charmer, and when he's nice, he's very nice. She never expected to face this violence.
Now, he's an illegal immigrant, as you said. She, of course, is here legitimately. She's a genuine refugee. But that means that he's got to keep under the surface, as it were. He's going to be trying to find, or maybe has found, another woman to shack up with.
Yeah, that's our biggest concern, really, that this could happen again, and she would be in really quite severe danger, really.
Now, he may be with a woman to whom he is being charming now, and she may feel, well, why should I ring?
Yeah. Well, previously he has gone suddenly angry and violent, and she didn't expect that, but that's what happened to her.
He's 5'10". He's got sort of broken English, doesn't speak very good English. Where would he be? What sort of job would he be doing?
Well, we believe he's doing casual work. He's done casual work before, so he could be anywhere doing anything.
Roughly where will he be, do you know?
Well, he's got connections in Leeds, Rotherham, in Birmingham, and over in the Humberside area as well. And over there he did medical packing supply job over there.
OK, he's a pretty dangerous guy. Now, it ought to be said, of course, that men get attacked by female partners as well. But this is a particularly nasty case. Anonymity and protection are absolutely guaranteed if you want to call us without your name ever coming forward. That's not a problem. Just ring us here in the studio, 0500 600 600.
10 years ago, on Boxing Day, 2 young Birmingham lads went out to play on a push bike. One had been given for Christmas. They never came home. The families of 11-year-old Patrick Warren and 13-year-old David Spencer are desperate to know what happened to their boys. Police have been digging up a number of sites near their homes in Chelmsley Wood. A convicted paedophile and murderer, Brian Field, has been questioned about the boys, but he's denied any involvement in their disappearance. Now, Gordon, this was 10 years ago, but you have got some clues. I mean, for example, the push bike that they were riding, prized possession from Christmas, it was abandoned by a petrol station, which suggests to you very clearly they were abducted, most likely murdered. Who are you appealing to tonight?
Well, that bicycle was Patrick's most cherished possession, and David and Patrick wouldn't have abandoned the bike voluntarily, so something happened that night. Sad truth is, 10 years later, there's been no evidence at all they're still alive. What we're trying to do now is do all we can to bring some closure to the families. I would appeal to that person who knows exactly what happened to contact the studio tonight, but also to sex offenders who, through their networks, have been told what happened, but through some sort of misplaced loyalty have never come forward to do so now. It's been 10 years and the time is right.
And the family, of course, I mean, every Christmas since then, I imagine, has been ruined by this, and they're desperate to get closure on this and to know what happened.
Well, that's right. It's distressing and painful every Christmas, particularly this year. It's been 10 years this year. They want to grieve properly and they want to lay their boys to rest.
And it's strange that it may seem to people who don't share that world, there is a code of conduct among paedophiles, isn't there? And there are some who will be horrified by this and hopefully will come forward.
Well, that's right. And I would urge anybody who's got any information, no matter what their interests, to contact the studio tonight so we can find the boys and lay them to rest.
Well, please call us here in the studio. Help the family at least have a better Christmas this year. 0500 600 600.
Now, Detective Sergeant Jane Corrigan has some very telling CCTV of a bloke on a bus who, when he got off it, turned very, very nasty.
Absolutely, Nick. He stalked his young victim, then he raped her. Have a look at this. It's the middle of summer and the night bus is taking tired Friday revellers home. But the man who's just got on is a predator. Straight away, he targets a teenage girl. He moves opposite her, then to the doors, where he makes a number of gestures at her. Then he sits in front. As she gets off, he follows her. He starts to talk to her and it seems innocent enough. But soon he has a knife to her back. He grabs her hand as they pass some people. She turns to them for help, but they don't see her. Her captor pulls her arm around him so they look like a couple. He marches her to her house, where her deaf mother and 3-year-old sister are asleep. He threatens to kill them before raping her at knife point. Afterwards, he walks calmly back along the road, talking on a mobile as if nothing had happened. His victim, just 16, is left traumatised. Who is the guy with the 2-pack t-shirt?
Very, very nasty character. Very, very distinctive t-shirt.
He was indeed. He was wearing a 2-pack t-shirt, and 2-pack is the rapper that was killed 10 years ago. But the important thing about this t-shirt is we haven't been able to locate one, and we think it's either purchased on the internet or maybe something that he's made himself.
Think about America he's got, hasn't he? Because his baseball pretends to be American as well.
That's right. He had it turned backwards, and we could see that there was a Chicago White Sox logo on the cap.
He gave a name and sort of other details of himself during the attack. Is that of any significance? Was he lying? Have you any idea?
Well, it may be important to some people. He said that his name was Bruno and that he was Portuguese. And we know that he did speak another language because about a week before, he was involved in an attack on a bus driver. He was asked for a bus pass. With that, he picked up a piece of wood and he attacked the bus driver. And he spoke a different language to a woman who was with him, and she had a buggy.
Tell us where that bus was, what sort of area he's in?
Well, we're looking at Wood Green and the Green Lane areas in North London.
OK, so he may be a local man. Was that his wife, a girlfriend with a child? Was it just a friend of his? If you jigsaw those details together, it's a pretty dangerous guy. Let's find him. 0500 600 600. And if you've been the victim of a crime, you can always call Victim Support Line 0845 30 30 900. Now, Rav has some more villains' faces that we want you to look out for.
But what we need are the places that they're holed up in now. These two are a double act. Number 5 is Isaac Michael Purcell, also uses the last name Whitehouse. 6 is Patrick Nolan, sometimes David Nolan. Now these two are wanted for the murder of little 10-year-old Jack Anderson, who was hit by a getaway car speeding away from police. They're also wanted in connection with a string of distraction burglaries across central Scotland. Both are members of the travelling community, and there's a £10,000 reward. 7 is Mafik Udin, wanted for sexual assault on a 13-year-old girl on a train from Worthing to London, Victoria. He was charged and went to court, but has now disappeared. He's 28 and has a last known address in Ilford. He's also worked as a chef in an Indian restaurant in Shoreham. And finally, our number 8 strolled into Fulham Football Club's training ground and conned his way into the players' changing rooms. He claimed he was a physio. He then nicked £19,000 worth of personal items from star players, including Portsmouth's Luar Luar and Fulham's TJ Moncur. But he wasn't smart enough to spot the camera. Please, take a good look at this guy. Fulham are offering a substantial reward. If you've come across any of these, then give us a call. 0500 600 600.
Our next appeal focuses on a handsome young man who made a very ugly attack on a victim who still doesn't know what he did to unleash such violence.
When I saw it, I thought he was going to kill him. I honestly thought he wasn't going to stop kicking him.
If that woman passerby hadn't intervened when she did, then we could be looking at a murder case. It started with this young Asian couple. They get on a bus for Twickenham. They seem really relaxed, together, very much a happy couple. Hard to believe, then, that a man capable of affection like this could also be capable of this.
My top jaw was broken from my eye, down the side of my nose, under my nose and back up, and not the actual nose but the skull was pushed back in. My jaw was split right through my gums there and my teeth were facing that way. My gums were split again through that side and my teeth were facing that way. So virtually every bone was broken. It was quite horrific. I'm a maintenance gardener. I'd had a good day. I usually come home round the block when I want to get a packet of cigarettes. 3/4 way down the road I saw that there was a couple in the road. My first impression was it was somebody helping somebody across the road.
No. I didn't even know. No, things are messed up now. No, but I told you this yesterday. But I already said it to you. Look, I will.
Hey, get out of the road, man. What are you doing?
You doing that last week?
Just felt a bit childish that they was in the road. I said to them, get out the road, as if I'd telling a 13-year-old boy to get out the road. I don't remember anything else after that, really.
I don't know whether he pushed or thrown to the ground, but he ended up on the ground. And the Asian guy was just kicking and stamping, and it was unbelievable. I didn't think he was going to stop kicking him. Mark was just lying on the ground. His head was just being kicked like a football. He couldn't defend himself at that stage at all. I think at one stage he did jump with 2 feet onto Mark's face.
I was already unconscious and being dragged around the floor and stamped on. Helen was a passerby and she apparently grabbed hold of him and shouted to him to stop.
Oh my God! Get off him! You're gonna kill him! Ah!
The next thing I remember was there was lots of people around, and there was blood everywhere. I was covered in blood. I didn't know whether it was mine. I didn't know whose blood it was.
Helen saved my life, I think. I mean, he would have still been jumping on my head now.
The attacker ran off down Powder Mill Lane and his girlfriend followed off behind him, leaving Mark unconscious on the floor.
When I came round in the hospital, it was approximately 9:30 at night. I looked in the mirror and I couldn't recognise myself. I mean, my teeth and my nose and everything was facing so many different directions. I didn't know how they was going to put me back together.
The guy who attacked Mark clearly can't control his temper. He violently attacks an innocent passerby for no reason, and then he hits the woman that stopped to help. Who is he? We know he's Asian, with short dark hair, about 5'10" tall and in his early 20s. He's wearing a purple and black rugby-style shirt with a white collar and a Shield logo. And who is his girlfriend? Here she is at a nearby shop just before the attack. She's about 5'2" tall and she's wearing an unusual green headscarf.
I don't regret stepping in, no. I regret it happening, I regret my injuries, but I don't regret helping.
I do feel fortunate that my memory is gone. I'm not having nightmares of seeing feet smashing in my face. My memory has completely blanked it out and I'm thankful that it has.
I'm happy to say that appeal's already had a genuinely heartwarming outcome. We're going to show you that at the end of the programme.
Yeah, it's a really touching moment when Mark Dietrich there meets properly for the first time the woman who probably saved his life. But please help us find the man who nearly ended it and clearly thinks nothing of thumping a woman either.
We've really got to get that girlfriend, assuming that is his girlfriend, to call in. This guy is a very, very nasty piece of work. I mean, it's amazing that he wasn't killed. There she is in that mint green headscarf. She must know who she is. Other people must know who she is.
And of course, if she comes forward now, she stops herself being accessory to the crime, which at the moment is what she is.
There were good CCTV images, incidentally. The bus was the 110 Hounslow to Twickenham. And family or friends must know who he is and who she is in that mint green headscarf.
And take a look at him in this distinctive rugby shirt with the Shield logo. It's a good clue, and it's so clear, that CCTV. If you know that guy, his girlfriend, or better still, if you are that girlfriend, please call us 0500 600 600, or you can ring Crime Stoppers anonymously if you want to on 0800 555 111.
Now we've got some more good results to give you, and starting with this guy. Last month, he was a wanted face, wanted for recall to prison. Geoffrey Hales had breached his probation order and gone AWOL. Well, as a direct result of Crimewatch, he handed himself in. He's now back behind bars.
In January, we featured the shocking kidnap and rape of a 6-year-old girl in North Tyneside. She was left naked in the snow in a back alley. Police cracked this one off their own bat. You must have heard about it in the news. Last month, Peter Voisey was found guilty of abduction, sexual assault and rape. He's now been given 3 life sentences.
And a result after 11 years, this time because of DNA. Back in 1995, we asked for help after a woman was raped while walking her dog in Witton Park in Blackburn. Well, the answer came really unexpectedly after another sexual assault, this time in Manchester. Graham Derbyshire pleaded guilty to rape and indecent assault. He's been given a life sentence.
And another case nailed by DNA. In January 1994, Shirley Leach was making her way home after seeing her daughter in hospital. She was attacked in the toilets at Bury bus depot. She was sexually assaulted, she was strangled and mutilated. Her killer remained at large for 12 years, but now he too is behind bars. A spot of blood from the murder scene was matched to Ian O'Callaghan after he was stopped for drink driving. He was found guilty of Shirley's murder and he's been sentenced to life.
The victim was Sikandar Shaheen, an accountant who worked hard and was well liked. He lived in a house with 5 others. We had no obvious motive and no enemies.
I don't know why someone should pick a man like my son, who had no enemies. He never mentioned that he had any enemies. All he said, he had so many friends.
Sikandar was firstly stabbed straight through the left arm. And on the second injury, the knife broke 2 ribs and punctured the heart. From that moment, the clock was ticking. He had about 30 seconds to live.
It happened so fast.
Hey, what's going on?
My initial thought was this was a robbery. The person ran downstairs and Sikandar was chasing him, and I decided to chase him as well. I followed him outside and he disappeared behind the wall. And I thought, this is really unbelievable.
My God! Hang on, 1 minute. Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Sikandar died in his flatmate's arms.
I had to visit mortuary to see Sikandar's body. I was shocked and in pain. I started crying. My only son, who was a little child, I used to hold in my arms.
Now we do have this, a knife left behind by the killer at the scene. The other clue was just bizarre. That beard had microscopic traces of saliva, enough though to get a full DNA profile. The DNA match identified that the killer wasn't an intruder as we first suspected, but in fact he was a resident living downstairs. This is Imran Khan. He was one of Sikandar's flatmates. It was his DNA on the beard. He'd ridiculously dressed up as Santa to stop any of his flatmates recognising him. Remember, there were 6 in the house. Why was Sikandar the one to get killed? When we searched his room, we discovered bank details belonging to the victim. And another good piece of evidence, we found a scrap of paper where he'd practiced the victim's signature. It was clear he had killed the victim to get into his bank accounts.
Only son, only brother. And we're really sad and devastated with this tragic loss of life.
Imran Khan pleaded not guilty, despite his DNA being on a Santa beard. He was sentenced to life, and the judge recommended that he served a minimum of 30 years.
A minimum of 30 years. That's at least 30 Christmases in jail. Quite a sentence.
Tonight's Crimewatch is turning out to be a good advert for DNA detection, but you wouldn't need a forensic scientist to tell you the DNA in this painting belongs to the Lancashire artist L.S. Lowry. He put the industrial northwest on canvas before and after the Second World War with his famous matchstick men and smoking Salford chimneys. But these really are disappearing landscapes. They're just some of the 16 paintings stolen from Clark Art in Cheshire in the early hours of a Wednesday in late September. Here's the man who owned them, Gary owner Bill Clark. Terrible blow, because you'd only been open a week, hadn't you, when they were taken?
Absolutely. We just opened for 1 week exactly. We had a fantastic opening evening. We sold lots of pictures, had lots of people attending the gallery. Then 1 week later, the gallery was broken into and these pictures were stolen.
And 3 masked men broke in, didn't they, 1:30 in the morning or so. And they went off in a black Cavalier, which was later abandoned.
Yes.
They're going to find it very hard to get rid of these paintings, aren't they?
They are. They were in and out in 5 minutes. And the paintings they stole are all very well known, so they're going to be really difficult to sell.
Because as soon as they try and put them on the market, you or the police are going to find out about it, aren't you?
Absolutely.
And you put up a reward as well.
In conjunction with the insurers, we're offering £25,000 subject to recovery of the paintings, subject to police approval.
So let's hope that flushes someone out.
Let's hope so.
OK, Bill, well, if you know anything about them, call us here in the studio, 0500 600 600. And now we have some recent arrests to tell you about.
That's some pretty important ones too. And first, a big development from last month's Crimewatch itself. Following our reconstruction of the murder of Annie McCartan in Warren Point in Northern Ireland, her son, David McCartan, and his wife, Geraldine McCartan, have been arrested and charged with her murder.
Special Constable Nisha Patel Nasri was stabbed on her driveway in May. She died shortly afterwards. Now 40-year-old Tony Emanuel has been charged with murder. 2 others have also been arrested.
In November, we wanted to find a registered sex offender, Kamil Crimewatch. He was arrested at Stansted Airport. He's been charged.
Finally, in May, we asked for your help to identify 2 women believed to be involved in importing extremely strong skunk cannabis. Michelle Pritchard and Linda Davis, both from Skelmersdale, have been charged and are due in court in the new year.
You often hear us say, call Crime Stoppers 0800 555 111. We work with them a lot, and they're responsible for thousands of arrests every year. But you might ask, who exactly are they? And why and how are they so successful? Well, here's your answer.
Good afternoon, Crime Stoppers.
Hello, Crime Stoppers.
Don't worry, it's completely anonymous. No, you don't need to give any details about yourself. I don't even know where you're calling from.
We don't record calls. All we do with the information is take it down and pass it on to the relevant police force for you.
Crime Stoppers is an independent charity that is run solely for people who want to pass us information anonymously about crimes that have already been committed.
No, it's fine, take your time.
We're open 24 hours a day because the majority of our calls come in between 8 p.m. in the evening and probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. This is a time when people feel more relaxed. They're at home, they're on their own, or can get away to make that call.
OK then. Yeah, bye. I think a lot of people are apologetic for actually calling in anyway. You know, they do feel that they're grassing someone up and maybe it's morally wrong, and you know, if they're involved in the situation themselves, that's also hard and that's emotional as well.
Crime Stoppers, good evening. You're very aware this is a one-off job. So for some people, they take weeks, sometimes months, even longer, to get the confidence, to get the courage to actually ring us. And what's the address of this person? We're very, very aware that if they do lose their nerve through something which we get wrong, then we've lost it.
If you just give me a brief outline of what's happening.
So he's got tattoos on his arms.
They're actually taking cocaine at the moment.
Drink driver in Manchester.
Friday evening is one of our busiest nights of the week.
999.
We've already taken 330 calls, and that will double by 2 o'clock in the morning.
But you say he was covered in blood all over his shirt, yeah? Do you know where he lives? Right. Do you know what weapon he used? Just taking a call about an unsolved murder. The person they were talking about was a known criminal. All of this information is great for the police. It's stuff that they weren't going to get anywhere else. So hopefully we've really helped the police out.
It's been a really busy evening here. It's now 11:20. We've taken over 513 calls so far this evening.
Good evening, Crime Stoppers.
But across the country, as a result of Crime Stoppers calls, over 20 people will have been arrested today.
Well, this is the Chief Executive of Crime Stoppers, Mick Laurie. And actually, you're sitting on a pile of cash rewards that you haven't handed out. Now, explain why, Mick.
Well, that's because we don't know who the callers are. If somebody asks for a reward, and very, very few people do, Nick, most people are doing it for the right reasons, to make their community safer. But if they ask, we give them a code and then depend on them calling us back once the case is solved.
So some people do, and they get the money?
Some people do, others don't. Anonymity is absolute, and that's the way we work it.
Right. Well, if you need to pass on information anonymously, you know who to call. Crime Stoppers, 0800 555 111. Rav.
Hey, a really positive update on Operation Minstead. Last month we appealed for your help to find Britain's most wanted rapist. He's attacked close on 100 people over 16 years, and I'm afraid to say, most of them elderly women. Thanks to you, police have got more than 300 names, and with the DNA that they have, they're working through that new list. Fantastic. Now, today we showed you the Jesse James murder, the poor, innocent 15-year-old boy who was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, brutally shot dead. Well, today we've had lots of really good calls, and perhaps most significantly, suspect's name has been put forward, and that was from seeing the CCTV that we showed you for the first time tonight. Lines are still open. If you can help us with any of our calls, please, please, please give us a call.
Right, now this is a bit special. We showed you a while back how a gardener, Mark Dietrich, was almost kicked to death in a street in North London. The woman who stepped in to save him was smacked in the face by the attacker, who then ran off. Mark wanted to meet the young woman he probably owes his life to.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. You're brave. Very.
Right, that's
Thank
amazing.
you. I'm fine, honestly.
You look better than the pictures in the paper and
Oh,
stuff.
it's amazing. That's how quick it healed.
I was more nervous about meeting you than anything.
I've been real nervous. Everyone said, "Oh, Helen, it's Helen."
I don't know. I know, that's
It's just everyone said it's just this round there, and it's just been real quiet. You know, I didn't know how to knock on. I don't know what to do.
I know. That's exactly how I feel. I didn't know what to say to you when you just walked through the door, and it's just.
I don't know how to thank you.
No, you don't need to.
I do.
No, you don't. Definitely don't.
I
need
do.
to thank
Maybe
me.
I'll do your garden for you or something.
It needs doing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't have to thank me.
I do. It was special what you did. It was.
Well, I don't feel I did anything. Do you know what I mean? I did just what decent people would do. You know, I couldn't see what he was doing
There's
to you.
not many people that would have done that. There was loads of people around. No one else got involved. It's special. Thank you.
That's right.
Saved my life, I think.
No,
you did.
She really did. Mark says not a lot of people would do that. I don't know, but as they say, it restores your faith, doesn't it?
Yeah, give the woman a medal. Details on tonight's cases are on our website, bbc.co.uk/crimewatch. Our lines are open till midnight tonight and from 7:30 until midnight tomorrow. Instant room numbers, if you want them, come up on your screen at the end of Crimewatch Update.
And we're back after the news at, 10:40. It's later in some regions, but join us if you can.
And Crimewatch is back on Tuesday, the 6th of February next year. We hope all of you have a good end to this one.
Yeah, have a very, very happy Christmas and a peaceful and crime-free New Year. Whatever happens, don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Unless you're one of these. Good night.
Good night.